comfortable seated position. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Take the shoulders up and just drop them down your back gently. And then we're going to start sort of like a circle of breath. You're going to inhale up the front of your body, figuratively, and then exhale down the back of your body, so that we're creating a circle of breath, rising up the front, softening down the back. We use this first moment to really arrive on your mat, to make the conscious decision to be here, not just physically. That's the first step, and it's a huge, important step, but also to arrive mentally in the idea of beginning and sustaining a practice. Notice what you arrive with today in your practice. Your general sense of being, your mood, your energy level, your physical body. And just know that all things are temporary. So whatever it is you're feeling right now might change 50 times during the practice, and it's all good. We are constantly in flux. And our one constant here will be our breath, and even that's in flux. Last 2 breaths here seated. And then make your way to your hands and your knees. Just come around. Stack your shoulders over your hands. Bring your hips directly above your knees. Push into your feet and spread your toenails out. Move that pinky toe away from the big toe. And then push into the hands and plug the spine up toward the sky. With an inhale, pull the gaze forward, pull the heart forward. Then allow the tailbone to rise up. Exhale, reverse that. Draw the front ribs to the back ribs. The belly in, drop the head, drop the tail. Inhale, expand. Collarbones go broad. Shoulder blades tip into the heart. Exhale. Spread the shoulder blades. Draw the heart up into the middle back. Inhaling. And exhaling. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Go 1 more. Come into a neutral spine. Shift forward onto your forearms. Pause here. Pull the gaze toward the thumbs, maybe even a little bit past your fingertips. Tuck your toes and come into a forearm plank. Come way up into the toes, getting the heels on top of the toes. And then notice your tendency to pike the hips up or to sag them low, and just find that middle point there. If it feels like too much, put your knees down and really focus on finding a neutral spine. Stay broad across the collarbone, stay broad across the upper back. Draw the heart forward a bit more. Draw the gaze forward a bit more. And then slowly lower the hips down to the ground. Release the feet so the toenails are down, point the toes back, and then gently draw the heart forward. Really nice, yes. Imagine you could pull your elbows to the back of the mat. Spiral the pinky fingers a little wider and draw the thumbs toward each other. And then from there, scooping the belly up off the floor. Since I've moved the furniture around, little mister thinks it's a playground in here. He's going to be running through my studio. Mister, come here. Take one more breath in. Soften with your exhale. Release the hands into each other, the elbows out wide. Stack the hands, bring your forehead onto your hands. And then from this position, and I promise you don't need to see anything, just listen. Scoop the belly off the ground energetically. That doesn't mean it has to leave the ground, but just pull the belly up toward the sky and then float the legs back behind you. Upper body stays down, lower body goes long and lifts just up off the ground. More about length than height. One more inhale, and then release the legs down. Bring your hands next to your rib cage. Inhale, cobra, rising up. Soften down with your exhale. Take your hands out wider than your mat. Maybe your thumbs are on. Elbows hug back. Inhale, cobra variation. Exhale, soften down. Hands in next to the rib cage. Cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. And downward facing dog with your exhale. Beautiful. Pause in downward facing dog. Tops of the thighs lifting up to the sky and pressing back. Palm the floor. Feel all the knuckles down. Inhale, right leg straight back. Stay here. See if you can get this right leg straighter. I'm not concerned with how high it is. See if you can get it straighter. Pin the left hip in. Balance your energy between your arms and your hands. Inner right thigh to the sky. Last inhale. Exhale, knee into your chest. Place your right foot next to your right hand. Come way high on those left toes. Fingers on the ground, or use blocks if you have them. Draw the chest open. Shoulders down the back, heart forward. Rib cage off of the right thigh. See if you can bend the front knee a little bit more. Drop the hip down and then power up that back leg. The more you press into this right foot, send energy up the leg so you gently hug the right hip in, the sitting bone wraps under the body, and the crease of the hip pulls back as the knee draws forward. Take another breath in, and then straighten the right leg, melting the chest down. If you've got blocks, use them. If you can't straighten your leg all the way, I don't care. Let it have a bend in it. Fantastic. Can you lengthen the spine out a bit more? Maybe the spine starts to melt down the front leg. If that doesn't feel good on your body, continue to lengthen it forward, but find that length in your spine. And then energetically draw your feet toward each other. Pull the right foot toward the back of the mat. Pull the left foot toward the top of the mat. You're going to keep this right leg as straight as you can. You're going to lift the right toes and bend the left knee and just shift back. So it's like a floating half split. So the left knee is not actually down on the ground. Use those left toes. Keep that left ankle awake and alive. Yes, yes. Beautiful. One more inhale. Exhale, bend the right knee, plant your hands. Inhale to plank. Chaturanga or the floor, exhale. Upward facing dog, or maybe cobra. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Left leg stretches back. Don't worry about taking the leg crazy high. Instead, inner left thigh lifts up. Hands press evenly, arms bear weight evenly. And work the lifted leg as straight as you can. Pin the right hip in, lift it a little higher. Take another breath. Exhale, knee into your chest. Place your left foot next to your left hand. Come way up onto those right toes. I always like to think of this right foot as like a direct line to my heart in these standing poses. So pushing into the toes to crawl energy up that right leg through the spine, out my heart, out the crown of my head. Fingertips, blocks, whatever works for you here. Generous bend in the left knee. Left knee tracks right over the center of the left foot. Energetically pull your feet toward each other. Powerful right thigh toward the sky. Broaden the collarbones. Smooth out the breath. One more inhale, and then straighten that front leg. So lifting the left hip crease up. Gently drawing the outer left hip back. Still pulling the feet toward each other. And then you can keep the spine long and stretch forward, or you can start to melt over that front leg. And that's really what feels best on your body. Press into both of the big toes. Feel the outer ankles gently pressing inward. And then lift the arches of the feet upward. Last full inhale. And then full exhale, you're gonna just keep the front leg bent. Straight rather, you're gonna bend the back leg, keep the front leg straight. A floating half split. Ardha Hanumanasana without putting that back knee down. Stay awake in this back ankle. Use all the toes. Notice if you have the tendency to roll out to one side or collapse inward to the inner foot. Try to balance that foot. And as that left heel digs down, gently draw back on that left hip. One more full breath here. Rebend the front leg. Step back to plank. Strong inhale. Chaturanga Dandasana. Keep the thighs lifting as you rise. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Pause here. Soft, even, steady breath. Tops of the ears stretch toward the thumbs. Hips lift higher. Triceps gently pressing in. Super strong arms. Rise to the toes, inhale. Bend your knees, bring your feet to your hands. Lengthen the spine forward, draw the gaze forward. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lengthen and rise up. And then draw your hands into your heart. Soften, maybe close the eyes. Just feel your feet under you. Engage around the bones, muscles into bone, support your joints. So our bones give us structure, our joints give us function, and our muscles support everything to truly give us function. Release your hands at your sides, spread the fingers, broaden the collarbones. Inhale, press the hands up, so it's like you're pulling through sand. And then exhale, bow forward, push, 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 push. Inhale, heart draws forward, spine draws forward, gaze draws forward. Chaturanga, exhale. Keep the legs strong. Inhale, upward facing dog, draw the biceps back. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, stretch your heart to your thumbs. Look where you're going, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway up. Fold down, exhale. Press into the feet, sweep the arms wide if you've got the space, rise up. Draw your hands into your heart, exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, offer your heart. Plant your hands, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, rising up. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look where you're going, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway. Fold deeply, exhale. Rise, inhale. Hands into your heart, exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, opening up. Downward facing dog, exhale. So good. I see you. Inhale, lift the heels. Crouch back. Let this be your power, whether you're walking, stepping, or jumping, but load up. Bring your feet up to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold down, exhale. Rise, inhale. Close the circle, exhale. We're gonna go 2 more times on our own. I'll be doing along with you. If you lose track of where you think you're supposed to be, just look up, but I promise you, you're perfect. Moving meditation, breath, and asana. And it's a complete sun salutation, so come back to the top of your mat rather than finishing in down dog. Once you're back to the top of your mat, after round 2, chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees. Create some space between your belly and your thighs. When I say that, it doesn't mean that you want to overtuck here. Don't find the space that way. Find it by gently drawing back without restricting the breath. Deepen the crease of the hips. Powerful arms. I don't care if they're by your ears, just powerful arms, wherever that might be for you. Balance your weight in your feet. So for years I used to say, put your weight in your heels, put your weight in your heels. No, balance your weight in your feet. Balance your weight in the feet. Feel that the front foot is doing just as much as the back heel. Beautiful, beautiful. Left knee lifts up, rise up. Crawl the spine up, get as tall as you can. Left foot directly under that left knee. Try not to just push the hips forward and rest back. Go straight up. So wrap into this leg, like draw that leg up into the hip socket. Imagine your inner thighs are going to pull you back. This left leg is going to come back for warrior three. You do not have to keep your arms overhead. If this feels too intense, maybe bring the arms into, or the hands rather, into your heart. And then inner left thigh lifts up. Outer left hip pins in. Neither leg has to be straight, but you're sending the energy in that direction as if you could straighten both of your legs. Crescent pose with an inhale. Take that left leg back. We'll stay here for a few breaths. If you needed to bend in that back leg to lift the front of the pelvis up, do that. Balance the pelvis. Generous bend in the front leg, powerful back leg. Way up into those toes. Good. I'm going to give you offerings or options. You don't have to take them. I really, really encourage you to listen to your body. Try new things, but if something seems like a bad idea for you, don't even have to try it. If it's okay on your body, pick up your right heel, come into the right toes. And then heel down, hands down, straighten the front leg, bend the left knee and shift the hips back. Still floating Ardha Hanumanasana, so this left knee still has not touched the ground. Yeah, just like we did in the very beginning. Draw the heart forward. You're going to use this left leg as your leverage. You're going to push off and come into half moon. So right hand comes forward, use a block if you need it. Wrap the hip open, the right hip that is. And then stack the left hand on top of your right hand. Push down into the right foot, but push the left foot back away from you as if you had a wall to plug that into. As if you could stand on this lifted leg. And then bring your feet together slowly. Chair pose. Lift your heels, come into a toe stand, outer ankles in. Maybe start to sink down a little bit. And then press into that left heel. Pick up the right knee. Get as tall as you can. Inner thighs guide your legs. Take this right leg back. Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. Any arm variation that works on your body. Yes. Yes, yes. So beautiful. That inner right thigh is lifting. It's very much like what we did in that three-legged dog. Work the legs straight. That doesn't mean that they are straight, but work them in the direction, the energy of straightening. Start to bend the left leg, step the right foot back, crescent pose. If you don't land where you need to be, fix it. Fix it. Lift the front of the hips up gently, soften the tailbone down, shorten belly button to pubic bone. Contain and then send the heart up to the sky. Work the back toes, the ankle. Option to lift up that front heel. And then notice where the weight goes. When I do that, I automatically want to go out to my pinky toe, and I've got to really work that outer ankle in. So just feel where your center is in that front foot. Whew. Last inhale, root the heel, exhale, hands come down. Start to straighten the front leg, lift the toes, bend the right knee and shift back. So this right leg, this back leg is gonna work as your spring, your launch, yeah? Use it gently, rising up, half moon. Left hand down, block or floor. Push both legs long. And see if you can stack this right hand on top of your left hand. Calf to shin on both legs. And then chair pose. Bring the feet around or the foot around. Lengthen up. Pick up the heels, come into a toe stand. And then start to sink down if it's okay. And then you're gonna make your way onto your back. So if you're okay, lowering the heels and then coming down onto your hips, rolling back, go for it. If not, find another way there. Right knee is gonna come into your chest, left leg extends out. Options, options, options. Left leg down, pushing the heel down into the ground, keeping that leg super powerful, or float the leg up, but not very high, and extend it out. Hands on this right shin, right above, like at the top of the shin, the bottom of the knee, and then push the knee into the hands. Soften the front ribs down. Take your hands to the right hamstring and then straighten that leg up. Push the foot to the sky. One more inhale here. Stay here if this suits you best, otherwise exhale, curl the shoulders up and stay. Breathe. Very nice, very nice. One more inhale. Both knees into your chest. Exhale, lower down the head, lower down the shoulders. Left knee stays in. Right leg extends out. Either push the heel down, push the leg down strong, connect it to the ground, or float it up but have that same level of strength in the leg. Push the left knee into your hands. When you do that, you're moving this left hip toward the right foot. And then take your hands to the hamstring of that left leg, straighten the leg. Start to curl the shoulders up. And then reach. And if it's not okay to have the shoulders and the head up, you just stay down with the shoulders. One more inhale. And then exhale, both knees in, release the head down. Little pause. Low boat. Take an inhale. Exhale, extend both legs, curl the shoulders up. Breathe, please. Stretch the big toes further away from you. So good, yes. And then rise up to boat pose. Knees can bend or legs can be straight. That's your call. Fantastic. Yes, yes, yes. Lift the heart. Use the back body to lift up higher. So options coming your way. We're going to come into chair pose. You can find your way there anyway. If you want to just come up, find chair, perfect. If you want, we're going to rock back and see if we can rock into chair. Yeah, all right, you guys are already there. Perfect, go for it. You can use your hands too. So we're going to take the same sequence we did. We're just going to speed it up a little bit. You still have so much time. Find something new. So we do things in repetition so that we get stronger at them, so that they become more familiar and we can explore them. It doesn't necessarily mean they become easier because we can always find something new to develop in the asana. Left knee lifts up. Push through to warrior three. Bend your standing leg. Slowly put that left foot down. Crescent pose, inhale. Sink deeper with your exhale. Consider picking up the right heel. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Release the hands, release the heel. Hover the back knee as you shift back. Push off the back leg. Half moon. Opening up. Come back to chair. Pick up both heels. Come into toe stand. Good. Press down into the heels. Lift the right leg up. Push through to warrior three. And then stretch that right leg back. Plant gently. Rise to crescent. Sink a little deeper. With your next inhale, consider picking up the left heel. Release the hands, release the heel. Straighten the front leg, bend the back knee. Push off into half moon. So good. Come around to chair, top of the mat. Pick up both of your heels, come into toe stand. Stay here or bring your hands down to the ground. Take those knees up into your tricep. Lift the hips high, so let that give you some leverage to come forward into the fingertips. Then maybe start to pick up the feet, and then maybe the hips start to come back, but the arms start to straighten. Lift up a little higher, however you want to get there, Chaturanga Vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. So good. Smooth out your breath. Left leg lifts behind you. Left leg goes back. Come high into your right toes. Bend your right knee. Your right knee is your lever here. This is going to be your spring to come forward. Your right foot comes to the top of your mat. So you're going to push off the right foot forward. Left foot down gently. Good. We're coming back to that low lunge we were in before. Beautiful. Pull the heart forward. Way back when we did this in the beginning of class. Left arm is going to sneak to the outside of this right thigh. Bring the palms together. And then we start to twist. Gorgeous. Yes. Powerful back leg. Use the toes. Stay here, or left hand down, right hand up. Maybe right hand extends overhead and is a continuation of the line of energy of your left leg. Really nice. Reach your right hand to the back of your mat like you want to touch your back heel. Come all the way up. Open up, warrior two. So root the left heel down and then sinking down. Good. So I'm not going to tell you heel to heel, heel to arch. I want you to feel centered and strong here. Maybe start heel to arch and then move around to find where you feel you're most centered. Where you can create the space for this right hip to wrap open and under. Lengthen inner right thigh. Resist inner left thigh to the back of your mat. Push your palms down without pushing them down toward the floor. Push them down and then push the forearms, the underside of the triceps upward. Draw the left shoulder back a little more. Keep the right big toe pressing down and move the right knee gently toward the pinky toe. Inhale, rise up, straighten the front leg. Good. Split the arms. Take this right hip, push it toward the left foot. Tip over, Trikonasana triangle. Big toes, base of the big toe down, pinky toes down, calves to shins, kneecaps lifting upward. Support the bones, support the joints. If this is enough, stay here. If you want, right hand reaches forward. Lengthen out your low back, low belly, drawing in. One more inhale. Release both hands down. Pivot all the way onto the pinky side of your left foot. Bring this right foot back, Vashisthasana. Last breath in. Come through center, Chaturanga Dandasana. Rise, open, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. From downward facing dog, right leg stretches back. Come high into your left toes. Your right leg is lifted, your left leg is down. Bend your left knee. Look where you're going. You're gonna hop your left foot forward. So you're gonna push off that bottom leg to lift up. Left foot comes down, and then right foot down at the back of your mat. Yeah. If that doesn't work for you, just get your left foot forward. Fingertips down, pull the heart forward. Pull the feet toward each other. Make sure your stance is wide enough that you don't feel like you're gonna topple over to the side. You're gonna know pretty quickly when we start to twist. Right arm comes outside that left thigh, and then hands into prayer. Feet draw toward each other. Generous bend in the front leg, powerful back leg. Option to take this right hand down, and then the left arm up, or maybe overhead. Keep drawing your heart to the top of your mat. Use the shoulder blades into your heart to open the heart just a smidge more. Use your right toes. Stretch your left hand toward the back of the mat. Come up and around. Root the right heel. Warrior two. So good. Yes. So press the hands down. Stretch the fingers long. Guide that left leg from the foot. Press into the big toe. The base of the big toe. Feel like your shin has a stopper that you can sink down, but it's not going to go any further. It's just going to stop there. And then move that left knee gently to the left. Inner thigh resists to the back of the mat. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach up. Good. We're going to open into triangle. I didn't say this in the first side. If you like a shorter stance for triangle, just kind of pop that back foot in a little bit. Split the arms, reach forward, and then you tip over. Particularly if you are on the bendy side, if your spine's on the bendy side, contain the front ribs. Contain this low belly, belly button to pubic bone, so you keep the length in the low back. If I don't do that, I end up being all here and dumping into my low back. So I really have to find that sense of shortening from ribs to hip points and keeping the back long. So this is perfect, but if you want, take the bottom arm, reach it up. Yes, so good. Last inhale. Both hands come around, bend that front leg. Pivot all the way onto the pinky side of your right foot. Step the left foot back, Vashisthasana, side plank. So your left hip moves a little forward as your left shoulder moves back. Keep this right hand energized to keep the right shoulder energized, the right arm energized. So you're not holding yourself up, you're pushing down. Last breath in, come through center, Chaturanga. Open up, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Take a pause there, smooth out your breath, steady, even, soft. Inhales and exhales. Inhale high into your toes. Bend your knees deeply. You're going to bring your feet outside of your hands for Malasana. Really good. So you decide how wide the feet go. You can use something under your heels if your heels don't want to get down on the ground. The wider your feet go, the easier it will be to get your heels down, however. Good. Hug the knees inward, lift the heart upward. This is perfect. You stay here, you breathe, you take a variation here if you'd like, or bring your hands down to the ground. Squeeze those knees in, rise up into your toes. Second shot at Bakasana. Spread the shoulder blades, tip forward, and then just start to bring the big toes to touch. Come back down, Malasana. Good, if your wrists need a little stretch, you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna like invert them, bringing them down. Push the backs of the hands together. Really nice. Good, if you've been in Malasana the whole time, I know it's a long time, so you can come into a forward fold for a little break if you want. Otherwise, you're coming into Bakasana again. And then your right foot's going to come down. So if you're in a forward fold, right foot stays put, left leg stretches back, left hand moves a little forward, and then right hand to your right hip. Start to turn the chest to the right, and then stack that right hand on top of the left hand. Padavrita Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon. If you have a block, use it under your left hand. It makes the pose so much easier. Stretch that left leg back. So think of that half Shalabhasana we did in the beginning of class where you just stretch the leg back. And it wasn't so much about lifting it up super high. It's about finding that space. Last breath in. Forward fold, top of the mat. Stay in forward fold or bring your knees into your triceps, tipping forward, lifting the feet, Bakasana, spread the upper back. And then left foot's going to come down to the ground. Right leg lifts up, right hand stretches a little forward to give yourself some length here, left hand to your hip. And then start to open up to the left. And then stack that left hand on top. And then release to forward fold. Separate the feet hips distance, first two fingers and your thumbs. Wrap around your big toes. Bring the fingertips to your thumbs to make that connection. Inhale, heart draws forward. And then exhale, elbows go wide, Padangustasana. Inhale, heart forward. Bend your knees. Make your way down onto your back, please. However you want to get there. So good. Take a moment here. Plant your feet. And then take your knees a little out and in a couple times. So feeling what external, internal feels like here. And then finding your center. The tendency here is that the knees want to drop outward. So without being rigid about it, gentle pressure from the outer legs in, the outer shins in, the outer ankle in. Keeping the inner foot rooted. Press the elbows down, rise up. Setu Bandha Sharvangasana. Shoulder supported bridge pose. So use the shoulders to give yourself that lift. It's not about jamming your hips to the sky. If anything, shorten belly button to pubic bone, lengthen out the low back, and then just open the heart toward your chin. Last inhale, release down with your exhale. Pause, take a full breath in, and a full breath out. We'll do that again. Bridge pose, press down, maybe lace the hands. Perhaps consider picking up your heels, coming into the balls of your feet. And then notice if you have the tendency to fall out into the pinky side, outer ankles gently inward. Knees stretch away from your shoulders. Last inhale, and then release down with your exhale. Full breath in, full breath out. Repeating bridge pose or moving into Urdhva Dhanurasana, bringing your hands by your shoulders and ears. You can come to the crown of the head first if that feels best in your body. Otherwise, rise up. Use your hands, use your feet. Last inhale, and down with your exhale. Little pause, feel your breath. See how your body receives that pose. And then one more, if you care to come with me. Rising with an inhale. Maybe back up into the toes, lifting the heels up. And then gently down. Keep your feet wide, maybe take them a little wider than your hips. Drop both of your knees to the right, take your arms out to the side. Come back to center, switch it. Come back to center, bring the feet back into hips distance. Right knee draws into the chest, left leg extends out, right leg to the sky. Support wherever you need to. Use a strap if you have it. Move the right hip toward your left foot. Do your best to neutralize your spine here. Use your breath to get some feedback about your torso. So breathing into the side ribs. Does the right side feel like it's shorter than the left side? And if so, just do your best to move that right hip away from the shoulder to create that length there. Left arm out to the left side. Inhale, open right leg out to the right. pin the left body down. Left toes toward the sky. Inhale, draw back up. Bend the right knee. Bring your right foot over toward your left shoulder. And then left hand supports on that right ankle. Right hand can come to your knee. There's lots of variations from this reclined pigeon. If you want, you can hook your left elbow under your right ankle. And then if you want, your right arm can come overhead. You find this bind and then you release the head back. You can also just cradle the lower leg. I encourage you to explore, find what's best for you today. Check in with the left leg, nice and strong. Last inhale. Gently release that out. Both knees back in. Reset. Left knee stays in, right leg extends. Move the left hip toward the right foot. And then extend that left leg up. And support wherever you need to. Breathe into your torso. Where else would you breathe into? But breathe into your torso, but especially, particularly the side body, the side ribs. Notice the length of the body from the shoulders to the hips and see if you can balance that. And then right arm out to the right, and then open out to the left. Inhale, draw back to center, bending the left leg, and then reclined pigeon in any shape or variation that feels good to you. Don't expect it to be exactly the same on the second side. Be willing to change directions, to change your plans. And gently back out, both knees back into your chest. Apanasana, give yourself a squeeze. And then turn the soles of the feet toward each other and gently release the feet down, guide the knees. Supta Baddha Konasana, release the inner thighs. Allow from groin to knee to get longer. Just a few breaths here. If you are very content here, if this pose suits your body well and you want to stay here, you are welcome to do so. If you want to straighten out the legs, go for it. If there's anything that you need before you move into Shavasana, do that now. If you want to get your legs up over your heart, whatever that might be, you've got about a minute, and then when you're ready, you'll find your way to your final rest. And that might be seated in meditation instead of Shavasana. You choose what you need. breath to gently deepen. Embrace this last moment here. We're not in a rush. Just feel the breath in and out. And then as you're ready, waken the body. Hands and feet, arms and legs. Find your way to sitting however you want to get there. And once you're seated, bring your hands together at your heart. Lift the heart to the thumbs, lift the spine upright. Just as when we begin the practice on the mat, we have a moment where we connect to what we bring onto the mat, how we feel. We have this same moment in closing, and feeling the effects of your practice and what you take with you off of your mat. Thank you for your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please let me know.